Hey, what's up guys? Nate here. Today I'm going to be talking about the new partnership with Levi's and Snapchat, but more importantly, I'm going to talk about the new capabilities and possible future of AR and advertising. But first, guys, I post a video every single day on scaling online companies, on entrepreneurship and marketing, and the most recent news happening in the online world. So if you like those types of things, make sure that you show that subscribe button some love. Thank you guys so much. All right, let's go ahead and let's dive right in. So, as I have said and predicted over my past couple of videos, and what I expect in a lot of 2021 is that a lot of social platforms are going to be investing more in e-commerce. We've seen this with Shopify and TikTok. We've seen this with Snapchat opening up public profiles so companies can start to get more existence, I guess you could say, on those platforms, Facebook and Instagram shopping. As it comes down to it, ad spend is how a lot of these companies make money. And it seems like with a lot of platforms, they have not been focusing on e-commerce over the past, couple of years or so, especially with Facebook. I think we're now going to see a dramatic shift given the current climate for a huge focus on e-commerce. And I think that trend is going to continue. Now, what we're seeing right now with Shopify is actually really huge. So I'm going to talk briefly about the Levi's partnership because it's really not that important to the whole idea here, but it's important to just what's going on with AR. And so Snapchat teamed up with Levi's by using their AR capabilities, to be able to put outfits with the Bitmoji. If you don't know what the Bitmoji with Snapchat is, it's like this cartoon version of yourself, basically, that's like an emoji. You're calling a Bitmoji. And it actually outlines to your body and will basically put the outfit that I don't know if you choose it or how they select it, but it's a Levi's outfit that they put on your Bitmoji. Someone can hold a camera up to you and it'll do your Bitmoji and it will dress you up in this outfit in like a cartoon fashion. And now that's all great. It's meant to be part of the partnership and get more brand awareness out there about the Levi's brand. But what's really important about this, it's not that great in terms of, just the whole, how it looks. You can still kind of see your pants if you move too slow and stuff, but it's a start to the kind of overlap that we're going to see and which I was hoping for of AR and e-commerce. So Snapchat has already been testing this since June in a lot of different ways in terms of implementing more e-commerce things into their platform. And just in AR itself, the one thing that I love that they've been testing is AR try-ons. That's what I've been really focused on. Now, Facebook and Apple have already announced things like AR glasses, but that doesn't interest me as much as something like an AR try-on, and I'll talk about that in a minute. And what I mean by AR try-on is that when they did this with Gucci, where if Gucci is trying to sell a bracelet and you want to see what it looks like before you buy it, you hold your phone over your wrist and it actually put the bracelet on your wrist so that you can actually see it before you buy it. Now, this is so important to me and something that I've just kind of been waiting for and been so interested in over the past couple of months, because there's always, for a while now, there's been AR systems for like your website and software. There's all kinds of AR software. It's all out there. I just saw the other day, one of my family members was testing out new flooring in their kitchen. You can take a picture of your kitchen. The AR registers what part of the kitchen is your floor, and then you can swap out flooring and you can see what it looks like. Super cool, but that's on somebody's website. But when you think about a large-scale e-commerce platform having AR implemented into the actual platform itself, well, that opens up an entire new door for e-commerce sales and for advertisers. Because if you think about it, fashion, home decor, car paints, accessories, there's a million different options that this can be used for. It's something, like I said, I've been preparing and hoping and studying this for a long time, because when it comes down to it, when you look at the future of e-commerce advertising, it's going to move in the direction of how we control consumer attention. What fundamentally makes an ad valuable is how it gets that consumer's attention. And then what makes a funnel valuable is after we get that consumer's attention, how do we keep that attention moving and moving until we create an action. And that action is preferably obviously going to be a purchase, but at the same time, there's other actions that can be involved that help us better direct that consumer attention after the fact in order to lead them to a purchase. So that's what it all comes down to. The idea of consumer attention. That's what advertising fundamentally breaks down to in one way. And we ideally want them to make a purchase. And what we're seeing here is this fundamental bridge between those two, knocking out the cornerstone questions that someone typically is going to ask before they buy. And one of those questions is, what does it look like? So imagine somebody wanting to buy like a new couch or a new, piece of home decor, something to go up on the wall, but they don't know maybe what size to get or is it going to fit? Well, what if we now have AR capabilities that are able to show how that would look on someone's wall? Now, again, this is something that's possible with AR software that you can buy yourself. But think about for a second, because remember, what I'm talking about is the bridge of those two on the actual social platform. And what it breaks down to is there's still I don't want to say negative connotation about the truthfulness of ads, but that's always a question in someone's mind. If I'm actually buying something from this ad, is this actually what I'm getting? So here's the ad, I'm seeing this product, but if I'm clicking this link and I'm going to this website and I purchase this, is this actually what I'm going to get? Well, what this does is it opens up the idea of being able to make direct purchases. I'm not talking about shop for Facebook or shop for Instagram, but direct purchases using AR through the actual social media platform. So maybe they pop up that home decor on their wall that they want to get on their wall, and then they make that direct purchase. And this would have to be something that could just be set up through the social platform, but then they can make that direct purchase right after seeing it on their wall. Now you've answered a cornerstone question that someone's typically asking before they buy it, something advertisers have to convince someone to make a purchase. There's a lot of fundamental questions there, but one of those is just, what is it going to look like? And think about something in terms of fashion. That's why they have try-on rooms inside of fashion stores, because people want to see what it looks like before they buy it. Well, that's always been an issue when it comes to something like fashion, buying fashion online or anything online. But this fundamentally bridges that entire gap, and it also allows you to direct consumer attention directly to the product itself as they're seeing it, and then make a purchase directly inside the social platform. Now, what this would do is essentially chop funnels in half, and it would make, I think, a better use out of consumer attention, because we all know that reading over video is necessarily not going to be the best, transfer of attention, because it's not often that people like to spend a bunch of time reading. But if you think about that and the idea that a consumer is already hyped up, their attention is already met because they've already been in this AI or this AR app for a long time. Now that they're, what could it be like if we could get the probabilities of if somebody puts this product up on their wall and they're testing it, or if somebody puts this outfit on, what's the probability that they're going to buy? This just kind of bridges that entire gap of consumer buying and consumer attention away necessarily from websites, but onto the actual product itself. And so when it comes down to it, regardless of what Facebook or Apple is doing, I think Snapchat is doing this better, because the thing is that the way I look at it as, it's sometimes better to not create something entirely new, but sometimes it's better just to reinvent something. What Snapchat is doing is not saying, well, let's come out with AR glasses like Facebook and Apple are. But at the same time, everybody already has a camera on their phone. Something that everybody already has, everybody already reasonably knows how to functionally use. And so that's not something you're going to have to convince people to do. And I wonder on the older generation in terms of how often they would use that. But at the same time, we're all moving, even the older generation is moving to be very technologically capable. And so I think that Snapchat is doing this better. I think this is a huge fundamental change that we're going to see. And this is where Even though Snapchat isn't the biggest player out of all these guys, I think they're going about this right, because I think in order to help e-commerce platforms more, which is what I think a lot of social networking is wanting to do right now, if they're wanting to help them a lot, they should help them in the way that allows them to direct consumer attention in a better way and get rid of those objection questions that would stop people from buying. Sometimes it comes down to a bad website. Sometimes it comes down to, what are the problems with this? And sometimes it just comes down to, what does it look like? Am I going to actually like it? Well, this is that fundamental change that we're seeing that's actually bridging that gap. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you liked it, if you found value in it, make sure that you hit that like button down below and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you guys so much. Until next time.